Well, Kerri, certainly, because I really see what's happened with her be the catalyst to her self-actualizing and being able to do the things she's always wanted to do but never been able to express through the art. And it was our mistake that we weren't able to pick that up sooner, I guess, that we couldn't see that innate ability in her sooner or be able to capitalize on that, but for whatever reasons, to finally be able to move on it and have her be able to feel like this is where I'm supposed to be, you know.
As I recall, it was putting buttons in envelopes or something.
Yeah, she was with Mr. Seals. Rehab, kind of, you know.
It was packaging things, basically.
Yeah.
Assembly lines.
Assembly things.
Yes, assembly things.
But she did that in her sleep. I mean, she could do that easily. It was so non-challenging for her.
Yeah, and it wasn't satisfying, you know, it was not meeting another need.
People here figured it out because
Well, we sat down as a team.
yeah,
right?
we did, but we had these planning meetings. But the difference between what we would have done individually, I think, and what the people here did was they put no boundaries on it,
Exactly.
no limits.
Exactly.
See, they could envision. I mean, they could envision anything and try it, and we would envision something and say, no, she can't do that.
Oh, we'd say, oh my God, if we did that,
Oh,
you know.
Here was this woman who literally was not doing well in a sheltered workshop setting and really being very, you know, abusing herself and hurting herself and really needed to be doing something else. And then a staff person kind of stepped up and said, well, let's direct her. She likes to do these things with color and create things, and she's always been into embroidery according to her mom, etc.
And that's what they did with Kerri. They sat down and said, well, we'll take her to cooking class, we'll take her to art class, we'll take her to sewing, and we were like, oh my God, well, who'll interpret for her? You know, how is she going to sit for, you know, all the things that we
What
as
if,
parents.
all those what ifs that
Yeah,
start
what if,
coming
yeah.
up?
She acts
What if
up
she
to
What if
gets
she
in
acts
there
out?
and
Yeah.
disrupts it?
Right,
And, you know,
throws over the paint brush.
yeah,
And they would, yes, well,
that might
that
happen.
might happen, but we'll figure it out, you know. And so-and-so can sign, and she'll interpret.
Yeah.
Melissa will interpret for us.
Yeah.
So-
and that's how that happened.
But that first lesson is memorable because that was the one where Sonia Weber was teaching the class. She's a well-known artist here in Willimantic, and it was just a color matching lesson. You have the palette, and you match that color, and it turned out Kerri was the best in the class at matching colors.
And
Has this tremendous color sense, and that attracted Sonia Weber to Kerri, so she offered private lessons
Yeah.
for a while, which got the whole process going.
And then that kind of stepped into the next phase of creating the studio. And then the studio really became, I guess, Kerri, and Kerri being able to express herself not only through sign language, but even more appropriately through her art and her color and her just ability to I don't know, transfer those things from pictures and make them into these beautiful, colorful, vibrant paintings.
I was very impressed with some things she did and not impressed with some other things. And but I could see she was really enjoying doing this, and she was very productive. We probably had 30 or 40 pieces of work laid out down at Camp Horizons, and just before that I had joined an organization called Very Special Arts of Connecticut.
Yeah.
And the whole purpose of Very Special Arts was to promote the work of either people with handicaps or disabilities of one kind or another. And so that connected me with some people in the state of Connecticut, one in particular by the name of Rosemary Cronin, who was a curator, and pretty well-known curator in the Hartford area for different companies. So I brought her down here. I came down, and we looked at the work, and Rosemary said, well, there's some possibilities here. I think I could probably set up a showing in a gallery on Main Street in Glastonbury. And we did that, and then there were some juried shows she was entered into. Without knowing who she was, she won some ribbons. In one case she won...
Connecticut Women's Artists.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Which is a tough jury
I
show.
mean, that's a
Yeah.
juried show.
She
That had nothing to do with disabilities. That's Connecticut Women
Yeah.
Artists.
Yeah, and to me her work was somewhat it was not very non-traditional. You know, I had to kind of get used to what she was doing, and to the point where I could really appreciate her creativity. You know,
Spoken
Yeah.
as a non-artist.
as a non-artist, yeah, very non-artist, And then when she was selected as for the Lincoln Center show, her painting of the watermelon slice was selected for the invitation in New York City. So we had
Wow.
7,500 invitations going out with Kerri's painting on it. And then later it was a calendar, where she had 2 paintings on a calendar. Things like that, you know.
But a lot of that was through very special artists.
Yeah.
And remember also one of the big things that I remember was when Christopher Dodd was,
Oh, yeah.
remember that award? And,
Yeah.
and we met with,
So we have pictures with,
yeah.
with Ted Kennedy Jr., Christopher Dodd, Kerri, and this painting was just fantastic painting of a parrot. Was taken by Chris Dodd. It was given to Chris at this event.
Yeah.
He's hanging it, we hope, in his office in Portland.
That's great.
You know, I gotta go down there and check this out someday.
It was down there at one
It's
point.
fantastic
anyway.
work, though.
But
Some of
this
her works have been just incredible.
So, and then just watching her grow through that process,
Yeah.
because, you know, in the beginning, there were times, she would, certain people would come to the studio and she would be unaware of them coming, and that she would get very upset by that. Or you'd take her out to lunch and, half the lunch was eating and the other half of the lunch was screaming. So we went from that to her really, having so much presence, being able to go down to New York City, to Soho, to have an art exhibit, and to be present there and be able to handle that. I mean, all of those things are just, just incredible growth. That shows such incredible growth. And
She loves going to the opening, the ritual of the unveiling of the paintings or whatever it is, and saying a few words and having a social time with a drink and snacks. I mean, she's very tolerant of a lot of people coming to take her picture and have her hold her painting or her award or whatever it is that is a part of that event. And she, I think, looks forward to those kinds of things. And those would never have been anything outside of the art world that she would have cared anything about at all. So I think because it's connected with a feeling of pride that she has about what she does, it's much more meaningful for her.
And a lot of that, is due to, I think, the people that supported her, that had a vision or at least shared her, maybe a vision that she had of herself and tried to put that vision into action. And through their supports and being, and really valuing her as an individual that had value in the society and could earn money via her artwork just like any other artist could do, and could be recognized for her art. And I think now, today, I mean, people, you talk about Kerri Quirk, and it's not this woman with autism, who tends to be challenged that way, but it's Shauna Shane calling on the phone and saying, oh yes, I know Kerri, and I know about her artwork. She's not talking about her disability,
Yeah.
she's talking about Kerri the artist. So to come that far, in 14 years, 15 years, I mean, and obviously that's just a part of her lifetime.
She's gone from nonverbal, but she sure has a voice in her artwork.
It's amazing to see her work, because I've seen her do a big painting, sitting down doing the bottom of the painting, standing up doing the middle of the painting, and standing on a stool to do the top of the painting, all in one 3-hour session, when I'm peeking around the corner at her.
Yeah.
And I saw her once, she penciled, talk about scribbling, she penciled the whole flower arrangement, irises and things, pencil on the canvas. Then she took black paint and painted over everything that was there. She'd worked so hard on putting it together. And she did the painting over the black, exactly like, as I recall, the pencil marks.
Exactly.
were.
Well,
Amazing.
Yeah.
And one of her teachers, David, right now says he doesn't know how she does that, but she continues to do that.
Yeah, I mean, no boundaries. They say, well, why don't we try weaving someday?
Oh, yeah.
They're selling her scarves out of the gallery for $100. Beautiful.
Weaving.
Just so happy for her.
And we're so happy. I mean, and look what she's
It's
opened up. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like a
Did you
flower.
ever in a million years when you were like struggling with Kerri 24/7 think that you
Never.
would
Never. I
You
didn't.
couldn't see that light.
I couldn't know. I didn't know how I was going to get through tomorrow. Never mind. But we do. We always try way back where we try to get that little piece of what are we going to do for the someday. Way back when. So,
Critical.
credits. So,